Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In case if you are new here, my name's Dave. May the Schwartz be with you. And hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch? I got to do this one-handed. Just wanted to show you the Evo Alarm. Now, they do have this watch with a white dial. This I have in the black dial. Now, one of the things that I really like about this watch is there's features you can use with it. The built-in alarm to me is just really cool. I don't have any other watches that have an alarm feature, so it's kind of, this one sets it apart from the others in my collection. That aside from the detail and the design of the Mondaine, it's a Swiss-made watch, you know, the Swiss railway clock. There's a lot of information about the background, the story of Mondaine, and so I don't want to just keep regurgitating the same stuff you might have heard with other reviews or videos. But basically, it's a telltale design. When you see it, you know what it is, and I love that look with the black dial, the contrast. The white looks really good too, but I opted for the black dial version. It's kind of funny because you set the alarm, bomb armed. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, alarm has been armed. It kind of sounds like you're arming a bomb. Listen to that. Someone's head perks up. They don't know what that sound is. I don't know if I can say that on this video. It's probably gonna get flagged. You know what? Whatever. Who cares? We'll go into all of the details, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that. And of course, I'll give you some thoughts and opinions on the watch itself. Now that I've actually had it on the wrist for a couple weeks, I'm excited to do my full detailed review for you here today. Now, if you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up and please join the Schwartz Force. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications. All of that helps me out a ton, and I really do appreciate it, guys. So I couldn't do it without you. I hope you enjoy the video. And without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright guys, now normally we start off with the measurements, but in this case I know you're here for this alarm, so let's go ahead and give it a listen. Now that you've heard the alarm, I will go ahead and we'll come back to showing you here in a moment how to actually set the alarm. But first, let's go over our basic dimensions. So we got case diameter of 40 millimeters. So with the crown, we're coming right in at 42 millimeters. The lug to lug height is 46 millimeters. And then the case thickness is 12 millimeters. So it's a pretty, good size watch. I really like the dimensions of this one. One of the things that struck me as interesting with the Mondaine design is this kind of rounded case shape that they have. So it's kind of bulbous, I guess you could say. The mineral crystal is slightly domed, so it's not completely flat, but it gives a nice distortion effect. Now I gotta be honest, I was a little disappointed to see that this only has mineral crystal. I would have thought at this price point we would have seen a sapphire crystal. I know some of the other Mondaine watches do have sapphire, but this one is just a simple mineral crystal. This is not a deal breaker for me. The design itself, again, that Swiss railway clock design looks great. Now, I really do like the black dial because of the contrast we see here with all of the indices, and then of course the minute and hour hands, and then that ticking second hand is a quartz movement. Unfortunately, this watch only has 30 meters of water resistance, so that is one of the downsides. I would have liked to have seen 50 or 100 meters of water resistance. So the lug width is 20 millimeters, so again, a lot of strap options you're gonna have with this watch. I like that the black leather strap that the watch came on kind of has this nice pattern to it. It's just nice, simple, clean black leather, very comfortable. We do see that we have simple tang buckle and then of course Mondaine branding. Finished really nicely in this stainless steel. It's brushed, and then also we see the entire case is brushed as well. One thing I do like is the design on the lugs. They're very angular when looking at it straight on like this, and then we see at the sides they do angle down slightly as well. Very well done design here overall. We see that the crown is at 3 o'clock Mondaine branding, and then I like the contrast with the red. And then of course for the alarm itself, when we pull it out, you hear an audible alert that tells you that of course the alarm is being set. When you push it in, there is no confirmation sound. And when we pull the crown into position 1, we can of course turn it clockwise, and that is going to show us where we can set the alarm. This is only going to work for 12 hours after the current time, because it's a 12-hour dial. That just means that you're going to need to set this the night before you go to bed, for example, if you were setting this to wake you up in the morning. I will be honest, the alarm is not completely accurate with the time you point it at. So for example, it's about 15 minutes early. So as we see here, it's about to be midnight. So we set it for 1 o'clock. Okay, so we have the alarm engaged. And then if I actually go into position 2, so at about 40, so about 15 minutes early, you get that one initial beep. And then about 10 minutes before 1, the actual alarm goes off. So what I've seen with this alarm itself is about 15 to 20 minutes early, you get one kind of early indicator. And then at about 10 minutes before you set the alarm, it will actually go off. Now it will not go a third time. So right at 1 o'clock, it doesn't go again. So if you miss that alarm, you're pretty much, that's it. And I don't know if this is just a design with the way that the movement is set to where it can't like differentiate on these other numbers. So it's kind of not as accurate as I would like it to be, but it's a cool feature nonetheless. I know that's probably one of the things that has gotten this watch maybe less than 5 stars as far as the ratings, is going to be because of that alarm not being exactly accurate. Some people have complained and said it goes off 20 to 30 minutes before the time it's actually set for. And in my opinion, that's a little too far off. 10 to 15 minutes, that's reasonable in my opinion, because I like to wake up a little bit early anyway from when I set the time. But if you want it to be an extremely accurate alarm, this may not be the watch for you. We're looking at the fact that it's a Swiss-made watch, so for reliability, the movement, we're expecting a very well built and robust watch and movement. So that is one of the pros. It would be nice to see a bit better loom design with this watch. Perhaps maybe have all of the hour markers on the watch also loomed. So in night, so if let's say we're using super luminova, this thing would look awesome, especially because there's so many markers that would just look really cool. But unfortunately, we don't get that with this watch. So just a heads up, you will only have loom there at the tips of those hour and minute hands. And we got to talk about this telltale lollipop kind of design with the second hand. Very cool, definitely unique, and stands out as a Mondaine watch. Of course, as you see with the Swiss railway clocks, it's just a great looking design. It's a little different. I was a little disappointed because I've noticed that on some parts, while it's going through the rotation, there's a little bit of bounce in the second hand. For the most part, it's pretty good. I haven't really had any issues with the movement itself. It'll be interesting to see what the battery life is like with this, depending on how often you use that alarm feature. I did just change the battery out when I purchased this watch, and I got a really good deal on it. I did end up buying it used, and I paid, I want to say about 80 bucks for the watch in pretty much brand new, pristine condition. So I got a really good deal there. But always keep an eye out. You can usually find these things a bit cheaper on the used market. If you're going to pick one up new, they run about $200 or so, is from what I've seen online. Now, of course, I'm going to put a link down below in the description for you. So if you're interested in picking up one of these Evo alarm watches, you can definitely do so. And you can choose between the black dial or the white dial, of course. But I think the black looks great. So here is the watch on my 7-inch wrist. I really like it. Being that it's an all brushed case, it still plays with the light, but it's a little more muted, a little more soft. And I think it's just done very nicely. Mondaine really did a good job with this watch, and having that alarm feature with the real simple arrow hand to point to the time you're setting, it's nice. The one downside to the watch that I would say, if you're looking for a date function, that's one thing it does not have. But the other thing is that this crown is actually kind of difficult to actuate. Getting under there with your nail is a little bit of a challenge. You pretty much cannot access the crown from the top or from the sides. It has to be from underneath, and getting under there is a bit of a pain. But there's great tactile feel. So once you do have this in position 1 and then of course position 2, very easy. We see that the movement of the hands is very smooth, just no issues there. It feels nice. Some people may argue you really don't need the alarm feature because you have your cell phone nowadays, but I argue that it's just a cool complication, not something you see in a lot of analog watches, and so just kind of sets it apart from the other watches in my collection. You know, I had my eyes on some Mondaine watches for a while. Some of them get pretty pricey, especially the automatics, but I didn't want something too small. I think this is a great sweet spot for my wrist size, and got it at a really good price, so I definitely recommend it. Now that you've seen my review of the Mondaine Evo alarm watch, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this watch. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the Schwartz Force if you haven't done so yet. I really appreciate that. It helps me out a ton, and I will definitely look forward to seeing you guys at the next one. As always, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.